Venerable Alfredo Maria Obviar, Priest of Lipa, First Auxiliary Bishop of Lipa, First Bishop of Lucena, founder of the Missionary Catechist of Saint Therese of the Infant Jesus. Born on August 29, 1889 in Lipa City, Batangas, the young Alfredo was the only son of the Catholic parents, Telesforo Obviar and Catalina Aranda. Having become an orphan at an early age, he was taken care of by relatives from his mother's side. Less than 5 months after the birth of Alfredo, Catalina fell to an illness which led to her early death. Orphaned of his mother, Alfredo knew of no other maternal care and guidance except that of his aunt, Marta. His early training started mostly at the Aranda home in Mataas na Lupa. He was completely orphaned at the age of 12. His best and closest friend came not from far away, but right in the home where he lived. His cousin, Leonzo Aranda, turned out to be his trusted friend. Alfredo found a brother in Leonzo, with whom he enjoyed togetherness. They exchanged dreams, joys, and adventures that accompanied their youthful age. In the absence of an educational system in the town, the search for learning started at home with the Caton, an introduction to writing, oral spelling, and eventually reading under the guidance of elders in the family or neighborhood. Alfredo was going 18 years old when he entered the Jesuit Seminary of San Francisco Javier in 1907. After his graduation in liberal arts at the old Ateneo de Manila in 1914, he thought he could become a doctor, so he enrolled at the University of Santo Tomas College of Medicine. Through weakness and ill health, he discovered that he was being attracted to a higher calling. Therefore, he continued to study for the priesthood at the seminary of the University of Santo Tomas. All these years of studies, Alfredo floated through the theological courses with the scholarly marks of sobresaliente, excellent. He was ordained priest on March 15, 1919 by His Excellency Alfredo Versosa at the Lipa Cathedral of San Sebastian. As parish priest of Malvar, Batangas, he displayed an extraordinary charism for organizing catechists as well as for teaching catechism, most especially to the old folks. The Malvar parishioners noticed that the zeal of their young pastor was accompanied by a simplicity of lifestyle. He committed himself to long and privileged time for prayer that easily suggested that the town pastor must be a holy man. He rode the horse when he visited the barrios or walked when there was no ride. In Lipa City, where he also became the parish priest in 1927, he established many catechetical centers in the poblacion and in the barrios. At the favorable vote of Bishop Alfredo Versosa and the commendation of Archbishop William Piani, the apostolic delegate to the Philippines, Pope Pius XI made Alfredo Aranda Obviar a domestic prelate, raising him to the rank of Monsignor. Cited reasons in the document of elevation were the sound and active life as a priest, vicar general of the diocese, efficient helper to the bishop in pastoral works, and zealous guidance of the recently concluded Diocesan Synod. On June 29, 1944, he became Auxiliary Bishop of Lipa, making the formation of rural voluntary catechists the main thrust of his ministry. It was about the period between 1948 and 1950 that Our Lady was said to be appearing to a young nun in the Carmelite monastery of Lipa, and that there were the allegedly miraculous showers of roses. It has not yet been ascertained what the late bishop's role in the incident was. He was, a matter of fact, the chaplain and confessor of the nuns in the monastery. With the early resignation of Bishop Versosa, Bishop Obviar received from the Holy See a new assignment, that of Apostolic Administrator of the newly created Diocese of Lucena. He was installed on January 23, 1951. The new bishop was so full of zeal for the spread of the gospel of Jesus that he simply was not able to contain the burning zeal to himself. He needed to reach out to others. So this new bishop was constantly on the move, staying in one parish with its pastor, while already preparing for the next parish down the same provincial road. Beyond private conversations with priests, he extended his dialogue with the priest by way of the circular letters announcing the regular monthly recollection, conferences, and priestly pastoral instructions. The recollection talks covered the spiritual life of priests, dogmatic theology, moral and pastoral theology, and the liturgy. Bishop Obviar's frequently lauded contribution in the pastoral field was the catechism program for the children of every parish, especially of the pupils of the public schools. As Mother Catherine Angelique Ossidi puts it, Bishop Obviar's proverbial commitment to the catechesis placed him 50 years ahead of his time. The first Lucena bishop was obviously concerned about the spread of the good news of God's love in Jesus. He considered catechesis as the first important step to evangelization. But a bigger challenge was to keep the good news going and growing in the lives of the people. Thereupon, the need for permanent catechists became urgent for him. With the establishment of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Seminary and later St. Alfonso's School of Theology, the number of priests increased to more than 100 between 1951 and 1975, the year of his retirement. I will put up a congregation since the diocese has a huge problem. We need permanent catechists. We have catechetical seminars every summer. Catechists were trained, but they do not persevere. So thought the good bishop. The idea of a group of women given to continuous catechesis had germinated long enough in the mind and desires of the bishop that a new religious congregation could soon emerge in the diocese. Like all beginnings, the small portion of the young Lucena church began very small, grappling with difficulties to survive, wading through depressing criticisms against them as a group of would-be religious that was still unnamed. Bishop Obviar was prayerfully certain that the group he had long prayed for would make the safe crossing towards becoming a religious congregation in the service of the gospel. Providentially, there were people who offered their ready support. After days of prayer, Bishop Obviar appointed Marcela Medinilla as the head of the little group of young ladies. Marcela of San Narciso, Tatiana Gandia of Mauban, Maria de la Peña from Perez, Aguilina Manzano from Santa Cruz Marinduque, and Crisanta Riallo from Guinyangan made up the task force of the would-be religious congregation. That was August 12, 1958. It was in the town of Tayabas where this small group of sisters would flourish and grow into a robust family of zealous messengers of the good news, doing more than teaching catechism. They discovered that assisting in the parish apostolate, working in offices, and going out to missions beyond local shores would also be part of the mission. At present, they number about 264. Bishop Obviar had made prayer his home. He spent many hours of prayer and encouraged all priests in his diocese to spend holy hour each day in front of the Blessed Sacrament. He knew from his own life experience that no external apostolate, however fruitful, can ever substitute for prayer or meditation. As founder of the Missionary Catechist of St. Therese of the Infant Jesus, the MCST, his monthly conference revolved around the Carmelite spirituality of prayer. He did not oblige the sisters to wear the Carmelite scapular, but he insisted that the spirituality of the MCST be highlighted by prayerfulness. For his ready references, he possessed many volumes of Bibliotecas de Autores Cristianos, which featured the fathers and doctors of the Church, and from them acquired the style and eloquence of the ancient preachers, as well as their calm and serene wisdom. His intelligence was tempered with humility. For Bishop Obviar, the ministry of the Word must find its rest in the pew or kneeler, back to silence again. The silence of the womb where the Word was made flesh. The bishop's home within the home was silence. When sickness and advancing age had become very apparent, Bishop Obviar welcomed a coadjutor in the person of Bishop Jose T. Sanchez. He considered his eventual retirement from the governance of the diocese as a change of mission in the church, to pray more for the church and to offer his sickness in union with Jesus for his beloved catechists. He died peacefully in the Lord on October 1st, 1978, in the hospital which he had founded, the Mount Carmel Clinic. His remains are buried in the compound of the MCST in Tayabas.